お願いします。お願いします。So let's move into Bushido Ryo Kata, and we're doing it from basic. I'm giving him my shoulders. Yeah. So I've seen two different ways of moving to the outside. Tomita Sensei taught us step, step into the rear. So moving from the front foot, one, getting me off the line, the other foot going to the side, two, using the shoulders and hips, and then stepping to the rear here. Saito Sensei used a simplified version, which was a slide step. One, and then the front foot back. Two. So if you're aware that there are two, I recommend trying to be able to do both of them. One, two, three. And slide step version 1, 2. Oh yeah, we'll take our stop. That goes over So in the Bushido Waza techniques, as in all techniques, it's important to remember which side you're going to. Okay? Because there are different sides. In basic form, that goes on. I'm standing in my hanmi. This will dictate what is inside and what's outside. It doesn't really matter so much what she's doing, the way that I'm standing. So what we're doing now is we're doing the inside movement. Inside meaning in the direction of my stomach. So if I'm stepping that way, or if I'm slide stepping, I'm stepping in that direction. And the other point is, in the technique itself, here, again, there's a movement that is doing this. Right? This hand that she's holding with, I want to bring it down. I take the head and bring her down, almost like Kokyu Nage, and then this hand goes with the tegatana towards the rib cage. And the hips engage. Again, you can step into that movement afterwards, or stay in the opposite. Depends how you feel. We'll see. Slide step version. Bringing it down, getting the head. Pushing. So, bring the shoulder down, get the head down, get the side of the ribs, use the hips to push forward. And you feel stable there, stay where you are. If there's a lot of energy going out, then step into that movement. Again, we'll take a stop. Again, so, still staying in Kihon form. Right here, a little bit out the shoulders. When we're holding, it's the same as in the front. If you hold in too close here, then this hand is usable. But here, if I try to do that, you can control. So especially in Ushiro, it's the outside movement of the hand that he wants to block. When you're holding from the front, yeah, it's the same thing. But in that case, he also has to be able to block from the inside as well as from the outside. If you hold in too close, then you can block the inside, but it's hard to block the outside. So, in general, you sort of go for the shoulder and then make the grab, because that will stop him from. So now, I'm moving to the outside in this one. This is very much the same as the Bushido Ryotodori one that we're doing, but I'm using the shoulder grip. So, turning, going down, around, between his arms. Again, I could do the one where I go up to the side first. We're going to use the one where we turn directly on that foot, round into Kokyu position. Saito Sensei always showed us these examples of the angles and the movements that you make in Aikido. And he would always use a fist forward like that. And he would make the point, of course, that going against power forward and back doesn't work. And then he would emphasize that this will work, and if that works, then this works. And if you can move in that way, then that works as well. So you can move laterally, and you can move to the side. So we always have to be thinking about that when we're dealing with a person's strength. In this case here, of course, it's not going to work doing this or that. What I need to do is move his hand that way, and this one as well. And I do that by lowering and starting my shoulders either that way or that way. Okay? So there's nothing pulling, it's turning. In this case, I want to go to the outside, so it always helps to go low, then turn, and come around and here. So you have to be thinking about what is happening with your uke from a structural perspective, right? You don't want to be pulling, you want his or her arms to be doing that, and then you can move them in whichever way possible. Okay? And for the Hinonagari forms from Ushiro Ryokata, it's basically the same as in Ushiro Ryote. So I'm going to call his hand out. He cuts down and then he goes for the shoulder and comes around. So it's basically the same here, but he's going to go for the shoulder. And as he does that, he'll turn. So we're doing the short form. You could also do the one where you lead him forward. And then go straight to the short form. He comes in, turn. I'm turning, counter. I'm facing this way, I'm turning to the rear. I step in. Turn, step, using the same turn here, and then I'm going to continue my big turn here, and then turning here, and turn again. Right? And just like the other one we did from Ushiro Ryote, comes in with the shoulders. So he's coming forward towards me. I disappear underneath him and come down and lead him forward. In the stationary version, you can also do it from stationary. In that case, I want to lead him forward first, and then back and down. So if I'm in a stationary position, I need to lead him forward so his energy starts going that direction. And then I need to disappear. In the advanced version, he's already moving. So I don't have to lead him forward, I just need to turn and go down. Okay, so if you're training with white belts, then just do the Kihon version, letting them hold. More advanced people going straight into. Yes. So we're going to move on to Bushido Eido, and we're going to give the basic form. Kihon, I'm letting him grab. Now, in this position, I'm going for basic Kokyu Nage, Kokyu Ho form. The entrance here is, again, he's holding, standing in the same hanmi as I am. I'm going to go to the outside of my hanmi. So the front foot is going to the outside. I'm going out to 90 degrees. As I do that, I do atami in here. And in this case, we're doing it slowly, but in this case, I'm going to step in here and continue in that direction for enough. If he gives me resistance, then there'll be another technique that we will have from there. So the idea is going here, step to the outside, and adjust. I want to get to the outside fully. I don't want to have my rear foot left behind. This atami begin. It's a good idea to keep your head on line here, because if it's that way, then I can see out of the corner of my eye that he has the right hand forward. If he's holding from the other side, and I do this, it's worse for him because we can break his arm if I do that. But we don't want to break our partner's arm, so it's a good idea to know he's holding the right. And here, this hand stays where it is up here, slide behind. Oh! Excellent. The second hand in our Aikido techniques is really important. In every case, in any case where quite often you see this going on. So this hand is sort of neutral, slack. And that draws energy out of your system. If one part of your body is slack, you're really sort of tightening everything up in the movements where the other hand is actually you're using it actively in the technique. The same here. Sometimes I see people doing this, and this hand is sort of around here. This hand is here. It can be used for, in this technique here, it's already here for Zanshi. Used for Atami. It's active, and it can be put into use for lots of things. But most of all, it's energizing your body. It's sort of extending things outwards. So your body is fully energized, it's being sort of drawn into a good strong position. In this case, you just use it to finish the technique. Can be used for atami if he's not falling, but it should always be active. Every part of your body should be active, especially the hands. So, same Bushido Eido. Now in this case, I'm getting energy back from him. And so in that case, I would use the energy. Very much like what we're doing from Katadori. The same principle. So from here, this hand is coming forward. And so he's actually, I'm creating a pressure inwards. He's meeting me coming out with that. I can use him that way. And then use bigger kind on the other one. I see some people trying to go under the arm. You don't really have to do that. Not in this one. So what's happening here is I'm meeting resistance, I'm leading him that way. And then from here, I just want to help him on the way with the other arm, or behind there. There are other techniques that we can do where we go under the arm in this case, but for now, I'm just leading on his way that way, stepping a little bit in so I can get the center here for this movement, and then throwing through there. So I'm just from your handi now we're turning outside, and the lead hand is going to do atami to his lower rib cage. The other hand is ready here. Come up and this is one of the other groups that we're working on, the Kokyu Nage against. So you can control his gi here. So as you step in, you're getting a little bit more control here. Chin, step in at an angle. A few important points about this technique. One is it's a full circle. So if I'm in knee, handi, right handi, I'm going to step all the way around to this position here. It's a full circle. We're learning about atami. Atami is not just somewhere around here. If I see a lot of people striking up here, there's a lot of muscle up here. If you strike hard enough, it'll hurt. But you're aiming for the lower ribs, the floating ribs. And it's not a hand like this. We're doing kokyu. That kind of movement. And it's not this, it's hips are coming in. And so it should be a controlled strike using this part of the hand. And here. That kind of movement. And that's just my hand. That's the whole body. So it isn't atami, it should be functional. And you can make a little bit of contact, but be careful. But so you know where you're aiming. Not up here, not down here, right here. And then that carries through. And this movement brings you in here, and then into the throat. Right? I'm going to make one exception from the Kokyu Nage theme, but it belongs to a theme that Saito Sensei taught about Ushiro Iridori. And that is, when he's grabbing here, if he grabs and twists, like that, so the elbow goes down, like that, yeah. Then, what happens is you go up, over, and around. And that goes into the knee. So usually, if you turn your back, please, usually your grip should be this way. But if the person is doing this, then it makes some of the other techniques a little bit difficult. If you feel that happening, you feel the grip is coming in, and it's getting twisted, and then lead into the knee. So, grip is coming in, it becomes active. It's the same turn, you're going around, arms are going up, under, leading up. Right? ありがとうございました。